We see our main character Akira playing a computer game where he becomes a top player, but the server goes down, ending the game. Now it's time for Akira to head to school, so he has breakfast, gets dressed, and sets off. Akira is so obsessed with gaming that he even plays while walking on the street, trying to escape from reality. While waiting at a red light, two girls from his school pass by and notice him gaming. They gossip about him, noting that despite playing games all day, Akira still excels academically and tops the class. Akira overhears their conversation and contemplates that getting good grades is easy if one just memorizes everything. He believes that school exams don't deserve his efforts, so he focuses on gaming competitions instead. Suddenly, a black car stops and a hooded man emerges, attempting to harm Akira. He manages to escape on his bicycle, but the man continues to chase him. Akira devises a plan and hides in a nearby building, setting up a trap with ropes. However, the man easily avoids it and jumps to another floor. Akira decides to run and ties a rope around the man's legs, causing him to fall when he jumps towards Akira. The man seems unharmed and jumps again, but this time, Akira uses a metal rod to knock him down and ultimately defeat him. But suddenly a lady appears and shoots Akira on his arm. Later, when Akira wakes up, he finds himself in a hall filled with many people, all of whom have handcuffs on their hands. A woman named Mayan enters and welcomes them, explaining that they have been selected for her team. They have lost their names in society and have no freedom, bound by her rules. An angry man steps forward and asks the girl to remain silent, but Mayan intervenes and shows her power by knocking him down with a cannon-like gesture. Chaos ensues among the crowd. Now Mayan explains to everyone that handcuffs have been placed on their hands to prevent them from using their abilities, and only she can open the handcuffs as per her orders. Then she approaches Akira and expresses surprise at his interest in such games. Mayan then asks if anyone has any questions. A man named Shin asks what place this is and why all this is happening. Mayan is pleased that he asked a question but can't provide answers. The man wants to know why he attacked someone on stage, and Mayan deflects by saying that those people have already done something and maybe she had planned a magic show from the beginning. Yuri also asks why Mayan chose her and what criteria were used. Mayan replies that she randomly chose them and brought them here. Then Mayan uses her cannon to destroy a wall and sends everyone to their rooms. Akira goes to his room, and as soon as he enters, his handcuffs open. He finds a paper with information about his ability, but he can't figure out how to use it. Meanwhile, Mayan's assistant watches them through a screen, suspecting someone is checking their abilities. Akira feels uneasy, fearing someone with a high ability might harm him because Mayan seems to enjoy pitting everyone against each other. Soon, Mayan initiates a one-on-one program. Akira enters a classroom and his opponent is already waiting there. The opponent warns Akira to surrender, or he'll kill him. Instead, Akira chooses to fight. Their battle begins, and the opponent transforms a dangerous sword into a weapon and attacks with full force. Akira barely manages to dodge the attacks and runs away, but his attempts to counter with fire attacks fail. Mayan's assistant wonders why Akira isn't using his ability. The opponent tries to convince Akira to surrender, but Akira stands firm and reveals that he refrained from using his power because it's too dangerous. The opponent thinks Akira is lying and continues his attack. However, Akira finally decides to use his ability called Illusion. He transforms his hand into a cannon and launches a powerful attack. The opponent is thrown back and his sword turns into wood. Akira tells him he can't win and advises him to surrender, otherwise he'll be defeated. The opponent accepts defeat and Akira becomes the winner of the round. Mayan applauds Akira for using his ability effectively, but her assistant wonders why he didn't use his cannon ability earlier. Mayan explains that Akira's power isn't a cannon. It's an illusion he created to deceive his opponent. His actual ability is to create illusions that make his opponents believe in whatever he wants. Guards come to take Akira away. The game has just started, and Mayan may regret her decision of giving this ability to Akira. One day, we see Yuri walking towards her room intending to go home. She's thinking about a day when she was going home with her friends, and they encountered a puppy on the way who started playing with them. But as soon as Yuri thought about touching the puppy, it began barking, making Yuri angry. Yuri's friend said that it was just a random thing that the puppy barked at her. But Yuri doesn't like randomness. Once she saw a boy crying on the road and she gave him her handkerchief, but he started following Yuri everywhere, bothering her. When Yuri reaches home, she finds out that her mom brought a new man from the club as her boyfriend and he came along with his daughter. Yuri's mom wants her to take care of that girl. The next evening, Yuri sees the boy who used to stalk her about to jump from a building's rooftop. She goes up to save him, but he turns out to be so mean that he jumps down with her. Then Yuri wakes up from her imagination, realizing it was just a dream and she wants to go out, but the gate won't open. She tries kicking it hard, but it's of no use. Mayan, who is watching her, says she's a stubborn girl and will be of great use in the future. Yuri then reads the paper to know about her abilities and tries using them to break the gate, but still fails. She sits back and starts thinking again. Riria, who is the daughter of her mom's boyfriend, comes to her and hasn't eaten anything since morning. So Yuri gives her some food, and Riria eats as if she's starving for ages. Riria loves the food made by Yuri, and later, they both go to bath together. At night, when Riria is asleep, she has scary dreams and she gets scared. So Yuri holds her hand to comfort her. Yuri feels that she is very unlucky because her dad left her during childhood and her mom always blamed her for everything. As Yuri wakes up, she is taken to an open ground for her battle. There, a big man is ready to fight her. Yuri becomes happy seeing him, thinking her opponent is a teenage girl. The man can smell and identify teenage girls due to his unique ability. He taunts Yuri about her virginity and approaches her. Yuri gets angry, kicks him hard in the face, causing him to bleed. But he licks the blood and gets ready for another round. He takes off his shirt, claiming there are no rules in the fight. He runs towards Yuri and tries to grab her to smell her. Yuri struggles in his grip. The man remembers a past incident where a teenage girl demanded money from him, threatening to expose him at his office. In frustration, he killed her and has been obsessed with the smell of teenage girls since. When he mentions random chance, Yuri's power increases significantly. She uses her power to twist his arm and deliver a powerful punch to win the battle. Mayan's assistant is amazed at how much Yuri's power has grown and wonders if it's a miraculous phenomenon. Later, they see Akira eating candies on his bed, and he contemplates using his powers to defeat Mayan and her team. Mayan appears and warns Akira that using his power will cost someone's life whenever he does it on Earth. But it turns out to be a joke, and Akira wakes up. An individual comes to take Akira, and they enter a room where 4 other fighters are waiting. The battle is about to begin, a 5-on-5 team fight. And their fight is about to begin in 2 hours, and before the fight, they have to tell each other their abilities. But Akira is not sure whether he should trust them and reveal his true ability. Then, they all sit down and make a plan and introduce themselves. The first guy is Sawatari, who can turn buttons into ropes, and Yuri can amplify her powers multiple times. Karasaki can turn any wooden object into a sword, and Kumajiri can become anything for 2 seconds, though he is not a pro wrestler. When it's Akira's turn, he doesn't reveal his real skill and gives a false ability because he's worried that they might use his real ability against him during the fight in future. Later, Akira starts making plans in his mind while others change the subject. Akira tells Yuri that she will be the main player in the upcoming match and asks her how high she can jump. Yuri calmly jumps and touches the ceiling, but her panties become visible, which angers her, and she slaps Akira. Then they are taken to the battle arena. Akira asks Yuri if she can increase her speed without sacrificing weight, but Yuri gets angry because he saw her undies. So Atari interrupts and warns them that they should be careful, as they don't know how powerful their opponents can be. They all enter the battle arena, and Mayan announces that whoever falls out of the ground, gets unconscious, or dies will lose the battle. The first battle will be between Sawatari and Rin. Now Akira understands that the one who arranged the battles is very cunning, as they revealed everyone's abilities together earlier, but now in the fight, they are facing one-on-one battles. Then the first match begins, and Rin tells Sawatari that she can't fight, so she wants him to concede the match. Rin drops her towel and appears in lingerie, leaving Sawatari shocked. She offers him something after the match if he agrees to lose, and he finds it tempting as he won't have to fight. However, his teammates get angry with him for considering the offer. Sawatari decides to toss a coin, and the one who loses will concede the match. As he tosses the coin, Rin attacks him swiftly and gets knocked out. Nobody understands how she attacked him, and they remain clueless about her ability. But then Kurosaki makes fun of Sawatari, which makes Kumajiri and Yuri angry, and they start fighting. Akira realizes that if they keep fighting like this, their team will lose, so he stops others and tells them to focus on the game. In the second round, Kumajiri faces Ringo on the stage. Ringo stands calmly, and Kumajiri thinks she might have a special ability. However, as soon as the match starts, Ringo concedes defeat and steps down from the stage. She reveals that her ability is to copy others' abilities at 1/10 power. Ringo couldn't figure out high ability, making it impossible to defeat him, so she accepts her loss. Afterward, Rin grabs her by the neck, upset that her defeat might lead to their team's loss, and she can be expelled. A girl in a cap assures Rin that her ability is excellent, and she will win the match using her power. In the next match, Kurosaki and Seiku enter the field, and the fight begins. Seiku shoots her marble at Kurosaki, who blocks it with his stick, turning it into a huge ball. Seiku can't believe how Kurosaki managed to stop her attack using just a stick. He then transforms his stick into a sword and moves forward to attack. Seiku throws many marbles at him, but he evades them and even cuts one marble. Now Seku gets scared and doesn't know what to do. Akira tells Kurosaki to end the match, and then Seku takes out a bunch of marbles and throws them at him, trapping him in a circle. Then she throws another marble towards him, but Kurosaki cuts it along with all the balls. Seku, ready to attack with her dagger, is about to pounce on him, but Kurosaki cuts her down too. He then tells her to accept defeat, but Seku had made a move that proved to be useful. A marble grows under him and knocks him, making him unconscious and losing the match. Next, a match is about to take place between Akira and Kauji. They both enter the ring and the match begins. Akira tries to activate a cannon in his hand, but it doesn't work, so he goes back to Kurosaki and shoots the active cannon because Kurosaki was the only one who believed that Akira had the cannon ability. When the cannon appears in Akira's hand, Kuji also believes that he has the cannon. Akira takes advantage of this moment and attacks him with the cannon, which Koji blocks repeatedly using his ability. Then Kauji's teammates encourage him, and Rin tells him that if he wins, the girls on his team will do anything for him. Hearing this, Koji's power increases significantly, but Akira throws a shoe at his face and stands behind him with a cannon, causing Koji to give up, and Akira wins the match. He cleverly won the match. As soon as Akira steps out of the ring, Kurosaki grabs him by the neck, and because he nearly killed him. Now the 5th round begins, and Yuri is brought face to face with the guy who used to stalk her and cause her harm in the past. Seeing that guy, Yuri gets really angry, and as the match starts, she runs towards him and delivers a powerful punch to his stomach, knocking him out instantly, and Yuri wins the match. Then Mayan comes over and informs everyone that the winning team will be taken to the 3rd program, while the losing team will face punishment and be led to a new room. Everyone's eyes are blindfolded, and they are taken to their respective destinations. The winning team enjoys a dinner where delicious food is served, while the losing team, dressed as rabbits, serves the food. They all eat to their heart's content. Rin approaches Akira and tries to have a conversation filled with love, but Akira seems disinterested and asks Yuri for a plate. He notices that Yuri's hand is injured due to punching the steel man, so he wraps a handkerchief around it, which Yuri likes. Kurosaki starts talking rudely to a girl whom Akira dislikes, and he advises Kurosaki to talk to her properly. He also tells Kurosaki that he didn't win his match, so he should also become a bunny. Then Mian instructs everyone to go to their rooms, and Akira's team is told that they need to go to separate rooms, meaning they have to part ways. Akira and Yuri say their goodbyes and leave for their respective rooms. Akira enters a room where he receives a cell phone and learns that he needs to collect 1,000 points in the 3rd program. He starts running towards the jungle, but a boy already perched on a tree tells him to stop as he wants to recruit Akira for his team. The boy is from Team Green. Meanwhile, Yuri is being chased by troublemakers who want her to join the red team. A battle ensues, and they end up fleeing as Akira uses his cannon ability to defend himself. On the other hand, Rin is seen confronting someone. Akira and Yuri are taken to meet a boy named Katsuya, who belongs to the green team and wants to recruit them for their abilities. They go to his office where they find a baby with no cuffs, born with extraordinary abilities. Katsuya takes them to meet his team leader. The green team leader thanks Akira for saving Katsuya's life and invites them to join their team, promising them more power and resources. He explains that they need to collect points through their smartphones, and the organization with the most points can purchase various items. Akira and Yuri learn that another team, the red team, is harming the weak people. When red team leader Ugame got to know that they couldn't catch the girl, he becomes furious about their failures and resorts to violence, but his sub-leader tries to stop him. The green team's leader explains that they rescue weaker individuals from other teams and encourages Akira and Yuri to join them for the same cause. Yuri is convinced to join, but Akira seems reluctant to cooperate and tries to use his cannon on leader. The leader uses his ability to stop Akira's attack, and Akira just wanted to know if they could win against Team Red under the leader's leadership, and the leader passed his test. Then the lady arrives and informs them that many people are coming and want to join their team, but there is not enough space for all of them. Akira decides that he and Yuri will share a room together. They go to the room and Yuri receives protection there. She was unsure how they could stay together. Akira wants to convey something to her, so he writes on a piece of paper. Yuri thinks he wants to express romantic feelings, but Akira actually wants her to believe that he has telepathic powers, and also he wants her to believe that they can talk in mind so they can understand each other's thoughts. His experiment succeeds, and they start communicating with each other mentally, sharing information about their families. Akira asks Yuri to trust him, and he reveals his true ability to her. Then, everyone receives a video message from Mayan, telling them that the fight will start tomorrow, so they should rest well. The next day, the leader gathers everyone and instructs them to collect as many points as possible and sends them on their missions. On the other side, we see Kurosaki in a cave talking to someone. Meanwhile, Akira and Yuri quietly discuss their quests and encounter some big monsters waiting for them. They jump in to attack the monsters. The leader defends against the monster's attack using his ability, and then the others join in to fight the monsters. Akira uses his cannon to defeat a monster, and he asks Yuri to use her power to create a circle around them. The whole team fights the monsters very effectively and manages to defeat them. Last night, Akira made good agreement with Yuri, where he suggested that he has the ability of telepathy, while everyone believes that his ability is the cannon. This way, he can utilize both abilities, and with Yuri's help, he can elevate his power to the next level. Just then, the leaders of the red team arrive, and as a monster attacks them, one of the red team leaders punches it and takes it down. The co-leader of the red team observes Akira and wonders if the green team's leader would promote a new recruit in the battle, showing his desperation. Mayan asks both Ogami and Kuro if they won't fight, and upon seeing the red team, the green team members start running away. They capture some of them and make them fight the monsters one by one, sticking to the rules of the games. A monster is about to attack a girl when Yuri and Akira save her just in time. Now Mayan plays her real game and summons the most dangerous monster with a snap. The main event begins. Akira and his team attack the monster, but their attacks don't seem to work. The monster is about to attack Akira, but the green team's leader, Shiragasi, distracts the monster and uses his powers to stop its attack. Now leader cannot make any mistakes, so he uses his real ability to pierce through the monster's stomach, making everyone believe they have won. However, Shiragasi's hand gets injured during the attack. But then, the monster regenerates by eating some other monsters and becomes alive again. Standing in front of the monster, the leader asks his team to run away, but Yuri refuses to leave without him. She decides to save the leader by delivering a powerful kick to the monster's face. Akira also joins the fight, and together they confront the monster. Akira comes up with a plan and lures the monster to a corner where Team Red can't see them. When the monster punches Akira, it appears as if he's defeated, but he saves himself using telepathy and blows off the monster's head with a cannon. However, the monster revives, and Team Red's leader finishes him off. Yuri gets angry at him as he's responsible for many deaths and attacks him, but it has no effect. Ogami asks 3 of them for fight, but Mayan stops them and proposes a new quest called Hunt the King, where Team Red and Team Green will battle each other, and the losing team members will face death. The quest will start in the next 7 days. Later, Team Green brings all the injured members for treatment. Akira and Yuri also arrive with the leader and save his life. Yuri goes to take a bath, while the leader talks privately with Akira to learn about his real ability, which saved him from the monster's attack. Akira reveals that the cannon is not his true ability, but he can't disclose more as it's a secret. In the jungle, Kumajiri attacks man who is trying to harm a girl. Ringo remembers that when she used to play a game, she would always lose to a person named Ki, and since then, she became his fan and found out that Ki's real name is Akira. She has always wanted to meet him. Just then, Kumajiri arrives with the girl, and everyone gets scared and asks who he is. Akira comes forward and explains that he is his friend who was with him in the second program. Suddenly, Mayan announces that the quest will begin soon, and everyone needs to start preparing, and the leader asks everyone to fight together. As Akira is about to leave, Ringo thanks him for saving her from Kurosaki that day, which she asks about his real ability and explains that she can read other people's abilities. Akira then takes Ringo inside the room and tries to get more information from her. Ringo then wants to team up with Akira to defeat Team Red. Later, Ringo comes out of Akira's room and greets Yuri. Yuri is sleeping the next morning, and Akira approaches her, asking to spend the day together as he wants to go to Team Blue. But Yuri is confused about what's going on in his mind since he took Ringo to his room the previous day. On the other hand, the co-leader of Team Red, Kuro, is thinking about Akira, as he can pose a threat to them. Just then, Renuka arrives, who is going to participate in the quest today, and she asks about Akira. As soon as Ringo introduces him, Renuka attacks him with a weapon, as Rin had taken her place there, and she asks her to leave or she will kill him. Kamui, a dangerous man, also joins them. Team Red seems very dangerous as they have summoned dangerous people from outside. Meanwhile, a spy from Team Red brings news that Akira's ability is not just canon. The canon is fake. His real ability is something else, and Kuro shares this information with Ogama also. Then we see Yuri and Akira heading to meet Team Blue. Along the way, Akira learns Yuri's ability so that he can use it in the upcoming battle. Akira believes that relying on just 1 or 2 abilities would be risky for them, and he needs to learn more abilities. He demonstrates a technique where he changes his appearance to resemble someone Yuri thinks of, and it works with Akira taking the form of Ringo. Akira realizes that Yuri must have seen them together, as she thought of Ringo. Akira explains to Yuri that Ringo found out about her ability, and she offered them to work together, keeping Akira's real ability a secret. They arrive at Team Blue's location and Akira introduces himself to their leader, Omoto, explaining that the battle between Team Red and Team Green is about to begin, and he came to recruit Team Blue to fight alongside them. However, Team Blue refuses to fight as they see it as a headache, but Akira lures them with an offer of 200 points if they join the battle and an additional 500 points if they take an interface from a Team Red player. Team Blue considers the offer, but they cannot convince their team as they believe that Team Green will not win. However, Omoto is willing to give 10 to 20 people with abilities to Team Green if they give Yuri to him in return. Akira does not allow this exchange, and instead he asks Omoto to join him and listen his orders if he wants Yuri, as he thinks that Omoto holds significant power. Eventually, Omoto and his team decide to leave after apologizing for their harsh words. Later, Kurosaki says that he will join Team Red as he wants revenge against Akira, but Akira pays no attention to him and leaves. In the evening, they all have a good meal together. Ringo arrives and takes Akira away to talk. Later, Akira returns with many books to read, and the sky is filled with stars, which everyone enjoys. The next day, Team Green's players get ready for the battle, and Mayan explains the rules of the game and how they can win. Team Red is also prepared, and the game begins. Team Green player reaches a tower first and informs their leader, who cannot fight due to injuries. Meanwhile, Katsuya has already captured another tower. Just as Asuka is about to capture the third tower, Team Red's king, Ugami, appears, surprising Asuka. She attacks him with her Oiji sword, but Ugami effortlessly stops it with one hand. Asuka then reveals her real power, weight control of the sword, but it doesn't faze Ugami and he injures her with a kick. On the other side, Kumejiri protects Harika, and Katsuya rushes to save Asuka, but the formidable old man arrives and brings down all the trees to stop him. Renyuka is showing off her powers and defeating many Team Green members. At this time, Team Red is dominating over Team Green. Then Rin confronts Akira and tells him that he is using Team Green to fulfill his objectives. She gets closer to him and asks him to join her instead of Yuri, but Akira refuses and runs away. Rin calls someone to inform that she has found Akira. On the other side, Kumejiri engages in a fight with one of Team Red's members who can shrink objects. The member cuts Kumejiri's hand, stating that Team Green is losing and the match is about to end. Ugami injures Asuka severely, and with no other Team Green player around, he prepares to finish her off. However, Yuri arrives just in time and kicks Ugami in the face, saving Asuka. Seeing Asuka's condition, Yuri gets furious and starts attacking Ugami so swiftly that he gets surprised. But Ugami manages to grab her hand and tries to pull her towards him, but Yuri knees him in the face and starts raining punches on him, making him back off. However, Ugami refuses to give up and stands up again. Meanwhile, Team Green caught one of the spy of Team Red and they try to get information from him, but he remains tight-lipped. Ringo starts talking to him, and as she brings water for him, she discovers that he's been killed, and there's another spy. Akira is running away and Yuri has separated to save Asuka. Now he has to implement Plan B because he wants to win this level no matter what. Kurosaki arrives and attacks him with a barrage of blades. Just then, Rindu arrives intending to kill Akira, but Kurosaki stops him, stating that Akira is his prey and he shouldn't interfere. Now, Kurosaki and Akira team up to fight Rindo, and this becomes their Plan B, which was all set up, and Rin was the one who called Rindu to reveal Akira's location. They both start fighting Rindo, but his attack is so dangerous that they have to step back. However, Kurosaki returns and confronts Rindu, engaging him in a battle. Rindu attacks, knocking Kurosaki down, and that was part of their plan. Akira launches a cannon attack from behind, hitting Rindu. Rindo manages to block the attack, but it was their strategy and wooden pieces in the air transform into knives, which Kurosaki uses to attack Rindu and defeat him. Meanwhile, Renyuka is defeating all of Team Green's members, and a nun gets a chance and she throws the doll Oher, making her head tilt to the side. However, Nun comes back to life and Rin appears just then, coming to kill Renyuka. They both engage in a fierce battle, with Renyuka using helicopters and tanks against Rin. Rin's body starts bleeding, but she uses her blood as sharp weapons and manages to destroy the tanks and escapes. Then Rin finds a hidden man in a box who is controlling Renyuka like a puppet. After killing him, Renyuka dies too because she was connected to him. Rin is revealed to be a spy for Team Green, and she will survive regardless of whether Team Green or Red wins. On the other side, a fight is going on between Kumejiri and the Red team player. The Red team player traps Kumejiri in his trap and starts cutting his body parts. Then he attaches wires to Kumejiri's body and tries to shrink him, but Harika intervenes and saves Kumejiri. The boy was about to attack Harika, but Kumejiri saves her, making him think about his past when his older brother died in an accident. At that moment, Kumajiri becomes invincible for 2 seconds using his ability and kills the red team player. Katsuya is also furious and fights bravely against the old man, but Akira arrives and asks Katsuya to go to Suka to save her. Akira then tests the old man's abilities by throwing a stone at him, and the old man reveals that he knows that Akira has the power to use multiple abilities. He approaches Akira to kill him, but suddenly, Akira pulls out a sword from behind a tree, making the old man think that maybe Akira copied Ringo's ability after killing him. Then, Akira attacks him and defeats the old man, taking his interface. In the camp, Ringo was trying to figure out who the second spy was, and she suspects the elderly woman Momoko. However, the leader already knew she was a spy but couldn't bring himself to take action. Momoko was initially part of Team Green, but when she found out that Team Red's leader was her child, she decided to support them. She threatens to harm Asuka's baby and asks the leader to throw away his interface or else she will harm the baby. The leader complies and she ends up killing him. Team Red's leader realizes that they haven't actually won the match because the real king of Team Green is not Shiragasti but Akira. On the other side, Ringo and Momoko start fighting. At first, Ringo appears frightened, but she remembers Rin's words and begins to copy Momoko's cannon attacks. Even if the power of the cannon is reduced 10 times, Ringo can still attack 10 times faster. Before starting the fight, Ringo advises Momoko to keep Taro in a safe place to avoid harm, and then they both begin to fight. Momoko attacks Ringo from behind and Ringo starts trembling. Momoko repeatedly attacks Ringo's face, causing it to be covered in blood. Then Ringo retaliates with a cannon attack, toppling a boulder, and falsely claims that Taro has been killed. When Momoko tries to find Taro, Ringo takes Taro with her and declares her victory. When Momoko attempts to attack from behind, Ringo defeats her. Elsewhere, Ogami is fighting Yuri and Kurosaki and Kumajiri join him, planning to defeat Ogami. Akira has found Kuro. Now the fight begins between Kuro and Akira. Akira attacks Kuro with his cannon, but Kuro uses the people he had enslaved as shields to block the attack. He then commands his slaves to attack Akira. Ringo had informed Akira that Kuro can enslave people using his powers. When Ogami had captured them before and was about to kill them, Kuro saved them and made them his slaves. Kuro's ability works in a way that if he saves someone, that person becomes his slave to repay the debt. Kuro believes he is stronger than Akira and has trapped him in his scheme. However, Akira dispels his illusion and tells Kuro that even he doesn't know his real ability, just like their leader could use multiple abilities without knowing it. Akira uses this to create an impression in Kuro's mind, but Kuro warns him not to waste more time and orders his slaves to catch Akira by trapping his leg in chains. At that moment, Akira uses teleportation, planning to attack from behind, but the slaves manage to catch him and Kuro stabs Akira in the stomach, thinking he will die. However, this was Akira's real plan and he uses their leader's ability to attack Kuro's stomach, defeating him. The slaves are freed as well and Akira's stomach remains unharmed because he had put meat there as a shield. He starts explaining to Kuro how he had planned everything, and how the player who brought news of Akira's multiple abilities was actually Akira himself, disguised in a different form. After hearing all this, Kuro feels that Akira might have tricked him, and Akira takes his interface. On the other side, Ogami is facing Yuri, Kumajiri, and Kurosaki alone, and they have severely injured him. But then, Ogami stands up and punches Kurosaki with force, causing him to crash into a wall and become unconscious. Before dying, Kuro starts thinking about the first time he came to the orphanage and met Ogami Ichi. Since childhood, he dreamt of creating a free world where everyone could live freely. The headmaster of the orphanage always beat Ogami and Kuro, telling them that they weren't humans, which troubled Ogami. As Ogami's powers grew stronger, he began attacking the 3 enemies. He narrates his story, explaining how when he was 11, his parents abandoned him and sent him to an orphanage, where the headmaster treated them like insects and abused them. That day, Ogami's hatred grew so much that he killed the headmaster. Yuri sees the scars on Ogami's body and recalls her childhood with Riria, seeing similar scars on Riria's body. She decides to stop Ogami at any cost and not let him win. They both start fighting. They continue punching each other with their left hands, and the attack is so powerful that both of their wrist bones are fractured. Yuri's left hand becomes completely immobilized due to the impact. However, despite his hand being broken, Ogami keeps on fighting, claiming that he doesn't feel any pain. He launches a barrage of punches at Yuri, but she manages to defend herself using her right hand and retaliates with strong punches, causing Ogami's left hand to become partially paralyzed as well. Yuri then lands a punch on Ogami's chest, but it doesn't have much effect because her ability has already worn off, and Ogami knocks her unconscious with a punch. At that moment, Mayan sends a message that Kuro used 50 points to disable Yuri's ability, and he hasn't been defeated yet, and he used his real interface to deactivate Yuri's ability. Ogami was about to finish off Yuri, but then Akira makes an announcement, asking Ogami to stop and revealing that he is the king of the green team. Akira proposes a one-on-one fight against Ogami to settle the matter, or else he will kill Kuro. Ogami calls Akira and admits that he knows Kuro is dead, but he accepts the proposal to avenge Kuro's death. Akira wants proof that Yuri is still alive, so Akira talks to Yuri on the call to confirm her survival. Now, everything is in Akira's hands, and he must save the lives of the green team members. To do so, he heads to face Ogami, and both of them confront each other. As the countdown ends, Ogami charges towards Akira to punch him. We witness Akira's final move, where he uses teleportation to evade the punch, and then delivers a powerful punch to Ogami's chest, a move he learned from Yuri. The punch is so devastating that Ogami starts bleeding from his mouth and falls back. But then, Ogami stands up again and asks Akira to tell Yuri to take care of the children whose memories are brought back by his scars and to help them. After conveying this message, Ogami passes away. With this, Team Green emerges victorious, and everyone celebrates joyously. Akira apologizes to Yuri for arriving late, but she knew he would come. Later, Mayan appears and asks Akira to undergo another test to collect rewards for his team. Then we see Akira getting up from his bed, getting ready and heading to school as he did before. His life is back to its usual routine. He still wants to play games, so he goes to malls to play. Gaming has become an essential part of his life. In one of the malls, Akira meets Yuri, and seeing him, she becomes emotional and hugs him tightly. And this is how this season comes to an end.